Have you ever felt like you weren't good enough? This is one of the most common things I think we experience as humans, and it's something we really don't talk about a lot. This feeling of inadequacy, of not feeling good enough, is something that I think most humans struggle with, but also specifically musicians. I'm Chelsea. I am a mindset coach for musicians, and I'm also a flutist, and I help people with their relationship with themselves. And feeling not good enough at the thing you've dedicated your life to can be really, really hard. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk a little bit about why it's probably developed. A lot of times we motivate ourselves through negativity. We think, I'm not good enough at this. I have to get better. So we have this thought that I'm not good enough. And then we have this feeling of shame, usually, or inadequacy. And then we get to work, we take action, and we try to hustle our way out of that belief. But the trick is, when we motivate ourselves every single day through the lens of I am not good enough, that is what we're practicing. And practiced thoughts become beliefs. So this is called the good enough paradox for a reason. We think we are working our way out of this hole of an inadequacy when really we are just digging ourselves deeper into it. And it doesn't matter what the circumstance is that you're in, if your operating system is the same. So if I have the belief that I'm not good enough, you can put me in any circumstance and I'm still going to have that belief. It's like saying you can't take a vacation from your brain. You can't just go somewhere else or achieve more things or get the next best job or career accomplishment or trophy or whatever it is that you want to do. Just getting that alone is not going to make you change your opinion of yourself when you have practiced day in and day out, wiring into your brain that you're not good enough. So when you finally do get to that dream job, place, whatever it is, you'll probably feel like an imposter. This is why negative motivation leads to imposter syndrome. And I'm not talking imposter syndrome like I'm in a new career and a new job and I feel like an imposter. That kind of makes sense because you've not really done it. I'm talking, for example, if you're trying to get a job at an orchestra and you're a career musician, and let's say you're 28 years old, you've been playing your instrument for close to 20 years, 15 to 20 years at that point. You are not a beginner. You are an expert, likely with higher education degrees. If you're still motivating yourself from the place of I'm not good enough, getting a job will be terrifying to your brain and body because sitting in that chair will be one of the worst circumstances you can imagine because you feel like you're not good enough. And having to go back to that space every single day seems terrifying. I know because I worked with clients on this who say, I love playing my instrument. This is what I want to do. But when I sit in my chair in orchestra, I feel so much anxiety about what other people are thinking around me. I feel like I'm not supposed to be there, like I don't deserve to be there. And that breaks my heart because they've worked tirelessly. Sometimes these are people in their 30s and 40s as well. They've worked tirelessly. They've made it. They're subbing in major orchestras. They're playing in major orchestras. And they still can't feel present and grounded and like they can own what they do. And that's why I do this work. So if you're motivating yourself by telling yourself you're not good enough, know that a win isn't going to solve it. A destination isn't going to get you there. You have to become the person you want to be regardless of whether you get the job or not. And what does that look like? Because the circumstances that surround who you are not what define you because you can have it all and feel like garbage. And I want to help musicians actually enjoy themselves in their lives. And this goes for anyone really. But I use music as an example because it's what I know. They're my people. So if you feel like this is generally a pattern you see coming up where you feel inadequate a lot of the time, try the thought on. If you're in a safe space, if you feel like you have a little bit of time and you can feel a feeling, hold on, you can feel a feeling for a minute. If you think the thought, I'm not good enough, does it elicit an emotional reaction? and just notice where that comes up in your body. Physically, where are you feeling the emotion? Is it in your chest? For me, this was really interesting. So I used to struggle with a binge eating disorder. And I remember when I tried that thought on, and I was really trying to dig myself out of this, I felt hungry. I felt an urge to eat when I tried that thought on. And I thought, my gosh, this is the root of so much for me. And then I just started crying because I knew at that moment, okay, my relationship with myself, the most important one in my life, I didn't know that at the time, but you are the longest relationship you'll ever have. It's the most important because you never leave you. And as soon as I found that link out, I thought, my gosh, okay, it's not the food and the eating, it's not the extra stuff, it's not what I'm actually doing, it's what am I believing about myself. So that's why you can practice for 5 hours a day and feel like you're not getting anywhere. And someone can go in for like an hour and a half a day. We know those people. It feels like, oh, why does everything come so easily to them? I don't think it's that much of a mystery anymore. I think someone who trusts themselves and has an amazing relationship with themselves is infinitely more successful than someone who's fighting themselves every step of the way. Because do you know how hard it is and how much burnout you'll experience if you are convinced you're not good enough and then try to work tirelessly to prove that you are, while all the while ingraining the I'm not good enough belief deeper? Like, it makes me almost want to cry because so many people do this and I see it so often and I've been there, and I just want to get this message out to as many people as possible that there is a way out. So what do we do about it? Well, I do have the very first step I always take with all my coaching clients, linked in this video. It's called The Observer. It's observing your mind. It's getting to know what you're thinking, the patterns, where it comes up, instead of just believing everything you think, because we don't choose all 60,000 thoughts we have a day. We're influenced by so much going on that's ever happened to us. We are influenced by how we are socialized, by what we see on social media, in the news, in reality, in life, how we were raised. You know, all of these things play a factor into like whatever thought our brain spits out. And in order to change direction and change course into something we want to believe, we have to know what's going on there. So that's the first step that I would take in order to really make lasting change. I hope that if you have found this insightful, that you won't just ignore it, that you will choose your own relationship with yourself as the most important thing over the achievement in your life. If you were your own parent, you'd want them to choose you and not the achievement also. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time.